Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Cerebral Smack Talk live on YouTube and StreamYard.com. It is Michael Fletcher alongside Anthony Flair, Michael Bullock, and Dee Dee Woodson. The whole gang is here. And, guys, we're just going to dive right in. Smackdown live from the Thunderdome in Orlando, Florida, on Fox. We started it off with the Universal Champion Roman Reigns, along with his friend Paul Heyman, and they were talking about hyping up the match on Monday night, the big WWE Championship match on Raw between Randy Orton and Drew McIntyre, and then we got ourselves a surprise, a Raw invasion. Well, not really a Raw invasion, but a frontline soldier of Monday Night Raw decided to jump on Fox and say hello to the Blue Brand. None other than former WWE Champion and #1 contender, Drew McIntyre. McIntyre was in the house. This was a surprise. This was a pleasant surprise. So, the Tribal Chief and Drew got into it. A nice little talk amongst the men. Jey Uso came out to defend the Tribal Chief. And, well, I'll say it. This was actually a pretty good segment. Good surprise. Shocked to see McIntyre show up. But maybe this is where we might be seeing. Maybe it could be Drew versus Roman. But here's the thing. Drew's got to beat Randy on Monday in order for this to happen. So this is going to be very careful. We got to watch ourselves here. Was WWE foreshadowing? Or is this something maybe down the line towards the future? Maybe a Royal Rumble match. Maybe WrestleMania. Roman versus Drew. Now, I know, I hear the rumors about maybe Rock versus Roman. I hear it. But there's always good to have a plan B just in case if plan A falls through the cracks. And they did talk about the fight that they had at WrestleMania 34. If you remember, that was at MetLife, Roman Reigns' return match after suffering leukemia was against Drew McIntyre at MetLife Stadium in New York. Roman won that match. And Drew hasn't forgotten that. We'll see. Anthony Florio, I'll call it segment of the night because of who showed up.
Yes, sir. That's all I can say on that, MF. I'll tell you. Take away the complete disregard for the brand split, and you had a hell of a segment to kick off tonight's show. Drew McIntyre bringing up Roman Reigns' absence from WrestleMania 36 and insinuating that he stepped up to become the top dog in WWE during his extended leave was a nice touch, as was the Tribal Chief's arrogant rebuttal in which he claimed no one knew McIntyre now that he is back. Jey Uso thinking he is doing the right thing by stepping up and confronting McIntyre, only for Reigns to look on with an almost dismayed expression on his face, fit the ongoing story of the former tag champ looking for approval from the head of the table. Reigns exploding after the break, taking exception to Uso and berating him, only supported what we saw moments early and further put Uso in the proverbial doghouse at that moment. Foreshadowing? You damn right it's foreshadowing, MF. There is no question about it. I mean, I hate to say it, MF, but your boy, the Legend Killer, I think he's going to be a transitional champion come Monday night. I really do. I think we're going to get it. if what we saw tonight was not any, especially at the end, wasn't any indication, then I don't know what is. So they'd be crazy not to cash in on this right here. So, but we'll see. We'll see. But and one quick correction, MF, the McIntyre Roman match was at 35, not 34. You had the right venue, just the wrong event. It was 35. But other than that, great way to start the show, no doubt about it. So a nice surprise, a pleasant surprise. None of us expected that. So here we go again, another round of unpredictability, like we saw Wednesday night on NXT when Leon Ruff did the impossible and knocked off Johnny Gargano for that North American title. So, but we'll see. So nothing more to say. Phenom, Michael Bullock, come on in. Drew McIntyre, he invaded Monday Night Raw, invades SmackDown, and if what we saw tonight wasn't any indication of foreshadowing for Survivor Series, tell me what is.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, this was definitely a great way to start it off. I mean, Drew McIntyre showing up on SmackDown. I mean, nobody saw that one coming, and he confronted the tribal chief, and it definitely brings a lot of history when it comes to these two, especially their encounter at WrestleMania 35. But the only difference is now Roman's the heel, Drew McIntyre's the babyface. It was the other way around with their WrestleMania 35 match. But yeah, I mean, I definitely see it happening. I mean, why on earth would they have Drew McIntyre come here tonight to confront the tribal chief? I think that's a sign that, I'm sorry to say it, Fletch, I think your boy Randy Orton is losing the title Monday night. I mean, having Drew McIntyre come to SmackDown to confront the tribal chief, only to have then Drew McIntyre lose the title to Randy Orton, would make absolutely no sense whatsoever. So definitely, and I'm definitely seeing this going down, that McIntyre will be the new champion, and he will be the one to challenge the tribal chief at Survivor Series. So there's really nothing more for me to say. This was a great segment to start it off. Nothing more to say. Dee Woodson, it's yours.
Yeah, this was a real good segment to start it off with. And yeah, having Drew show up is a huge surprise. As far as, my thoughts on who's going to win on Raw, there's a very good possibility it could be Drew, because there's a lot of heat on the fact that they think that there will be a match added after Orton loses, of him versus The Fiend, because The Fiend's in the middle of all that too. I don't know if that's true. I'm just going off of, the rumors I'm hearing and the stories I'm hearing. So, whether or not that happens or not, I can see either one of them going up against Roman Reigns. But yeah, seeing that Drew McIntyre showed up tonight, it points the finger that there's a very real possibility it could be Drew versus Roman come Survivor Series. The segment was awesome. They did a great job. Of course, Jay putting his foot in his mouth as usual. He hasn't been able to do anything to win the approval of Roman, because everything he does is wrong. So, yeah, I'm not going to add too much more to it. Great way to start the show. So it's yours, Fletch.
Well, unfortunately, guys, normally we don't have this, but I feel like we gotta call cutouts on a few of these matches here. So, next up we had was Sami Zayn versus Apollo Crews. The Intercontinental Championship was on the line. Sami Zayn wins the match in 2 minutes and 5 seconds via a countout. Yikes. Not good. I'm not even going to quantify that. So, next up, we had after that, Then we had a promo segment, Sasha Banks with Bailey and Carmella. We'll talk about that down the line. Then we had Otis versus Dolph Ziggler one-on-one. Now, this was prompted because Otis was in the back, kind of just minding his own business, the whole 9 yards. Ziggler and Rude came out to basically dump on Otis. You lost the girl, you lost your money in the bank, you lost your friend, you got nothing, and now you're all by yourself. Well, Otis got pissed, flipped the table over, basically went to the office of Adam Pearce saying, hey, I want Ziggler in a fight tonight. Alright, we'll do it. Otis destroys Ziggler in a minute 50 seconds. There was one thing that did come out of this after, was that Chad Gable came out and said, you know what? I saw what was happening. I think it's messed up. You know what? You need guidance. You need help, Otis. And I want to lead you. I want to mentor you to be successful, to be great, to be everything that you wanted it to be. You were Mr. Money in the Bank. Why don't you come to this? Alpha Academy. Alpha Academy. Now, obviously, Chad Gable is still playing the heel, but think about that. Alpha Academy. American Alpha. One of the great tag teams in NXT. Former tag team champions. Maybe a stable might be in the work on SmackDown Live. I mean, this would be nice for Chad Gable. This gives him something to do. And Otis is a likable character. I think everybody can agree with that. And it does suck that he did lose Money in the Bank. Lost it the way he did. You kind of have to revamp him some way, somehow. So, we'll see. Next up we had, okay, now we're going to get into some good stuff. Rey Mysterio versus Seth Rollins, no holds barred. This was it. The final chapter. It was labeled as the final chapter. This is where it ends tonight. Winner of the bout, 18 minutes, 25 seconds. Rey Mysterio knocks off the Messiah. Seth Rollins loses. And more importantly, Rey Mysterio and the Mysterio family throws the olive branch to Murphy. And it is accepted. The family is cool with Murphy. Murphy is cool with the Mysterios. It's over, folks. The war is over. Thank the Lord. Anthony Florio, let's talk about the match. We don't need to talk about the Kumbaya moment, but the match itself, holy freaking crap.
Fight of the night?
I would say it.
And that's exactly what I'm going to say. 4 to 4.25 stars. I mean, for as overly long, unnecessarily messy, and horrifically soapy as this storyline became, this was the perfect ending to it all. Rey Mysterio and his family had their happy ending, while Murphy was accepted by all involved and given blessings to continue dating Aaliyah. Seth Rollins got his comeuppance, and all was right with the world. This was a great match in this program. The only downside was the commercial break hurt the flow, and an amped up Rey flubbing the first 619 attempt didn't help matters. But still, the rating reflects the overall execution of the story in this. The final chapter, and is apropos for what WWE presented here tonight. And it was Murphy. Murphy was was the one who made it all happen. I mean, it looked like he was going to help Seth, but he turned on Seth and opened the door for Ray. Ray gets the win, and well, there is a reasoning for this. I read a dirt sheet earlier saying that Seth, and I know MF's gonna be discouraged by what I'm about to tell him, but then again, maybe he knows about this. I'm hearing that Seth Rollins, after Survivor Series, will be taking time off, and I think we all know the reasoning behind that.
Oh yeah, no, that's perfect reason. Yeah, no, we know because, well, if you're living under a rock, Becky Lynch is expecting, and I know somewhere from what I've heard, the due date was around the first or the second week of December. So
this would make all the sense in the world.
This makes all the sense in the world. So yeah, no, this is perfectly within line to what was supposed to happen. From what I know, yeah, they said, I believe the due date was between the first and second week of December. So no, I think this was this. No, there's no discouragement for me. I completely understand, and yeah, no, there's nothing more than that. Yeah.
Okay. So just wanted to address that elephant in the room because I read that dirt sheet earlier today. And yeah, Seth Rollins, after Survivor Series, sometime after Survivor Series, will be taking time off, obviously, to get ready for his new arrival with Becky. So that's all there is to say on that. But next week on Smackdown, Seth Rollins will go one-on-one with Murphy.
Which he demanded.
Yes, he did. Oh, did he demand it? Oh, he got in your boy's face, MF. He got into your boy Pierce's face.
Yep, I saw. Adam Pierce, this was the scary moment of the night, but later on, I had to call him a lucky bastard. We'll get into that in a little bit.
Certainly. Oh, yes. So, that's really all there is to say on this. Hallelujah. Thank God the storyline is over. Really wore out its welcome. I was okay with it at first, but yeah, go figure. This started on Raw and it ends on SmackDown. So I'm glad you guys finally put an end to it. It's been going on far too long. So, oh boy, from the maniac face that Rollins made to the kendo beatdown of Dominic to Dominic's first match at SummerSlam and Aaliyah coming into this whole thing. Finally, it's over. So that's all there is to say on that. So 4 to 4 1/4 stars, fight of the night, no doubt about it. Michael Bullock, man, what a match this ended up being, and we needed this after those back-to-back dart fights. 18-25, the time of the fall.
Yeah, 4 to 4 1/4 stars. I agree. This was the fight of the night, and yeah, fitting way to conclude this rivalry. And yeah, I mean, it's really went far too long, but yeah, this definitely makes sense, especially with Rollins taking time off after Survivor Series. So this was the right move here. So yeah, there's really nothing more for me to say. I mean, yeah, now the Murphy gets the approval from the Mysterio family. So yeah, everything is all settled now. So there's nothing more to say. Dee Woodson, it is yours.
Yeah, this is definitely the fight of the night. I do agree with the rating. And yeah, I've read and heard the same things that Seth is leaving for the birth of the baby. I've also heard and read that SmackDown may be gaining Becky Lynch when she comes off of maternity leave. So there's a very good chance that that'll give a little extra boost to the SmackDown ladies if she does come back.
We need it desperately too, Dee.
Yes.
We need the man. We need her.
Yes. I agree with that.
I want her. It's not just that SmackDown needs her, it's that everybody knows how much I love Becky Lynch, and I need her. I just it's been too long not seeing her, man. I'm like I'm like going crazy right now. I'm pacing up and down.
Withdrawal. That's withdrawal.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, where you guys do a lot of the reading of the dirt sheets, I do a lot of the YouTube dirt sheets. So I've seen so many series on, the Funhouse, on Becky and Seth, on all these things. But this one, I've heard multiples talk about this, on her coming back, her going to SmackDown because that's where Seth is, and her having this baby here within the next couple of weeks. So yeah, but as far as the rating, yes, I agree. Great rating, great match. They knocked it out of the park, and yeah. So I'm not going to add too much more. I mean, this was actually just really probably the best thing for the whole night, next to that opening segment. So it's yours, Fletch.
All right, and then right after that, so Adam Pearce was hanging out in the back, and Natalia, and he told Natalia that she was going to be a part of a triple threat match. So she's like, wait a minute, that's first off, that's garbage. Why do I need to be in a triple threat match? I could carry this team to victory at Survivor Series. I'm the veteran of the group. I should already be on the squad. Well, the reason why that it was a triple threat, after the rant, he told her that the triple threat was next. All right, fine. So Natalia leaves, but then there was a big surprise. A certain person puts her hand on the shoulder of Adam Pearce with a very lovable grin. Well, that person is Chelsea Green. That's right, the hot mess of Impact Wrestling and NXT superstar has made it to the blue brand. She's now SmackDown property, folks. And on top of that, they throw one more curve, because what the hell? Adam Pearce, I guess, is running SmackDown Live. He throws Chelsea into the fight. So now it was a fatal four-way. It was Chelsea Green, Natalia, Liv Morgan, and Tamina in a fatal four-way where the winner gets to represent Team SmackDown at Survivor Series for the Women's Survivor Series matchup. Winner of the match in 3 minutes and 55 seconds, Liv Morgan. That means the Riot Squad is complete. Riot Squad and Bianca Belair now represents Team SmackDown on the 5-on-5 for Survivor Series. Out of all the women, the Blue Tongue Banshee goes through. I'm happy. I'm ecstatic. Michael Bullock, the Riot Squad are together with Bianca Belair. I don't know, Monday Night Raw. I know you definitely are the odds-on favorites, but I think you might want to start getting a little nervy now, because we got to sell the tag team and we got the EST of WWE. I mean, we got a punch a chance here now, Bullock.
Well, the thing is, Fletch, I know you're going to like what I'm about to say. I think SmackDown is the favorite as far as I'm concerned, and because of what's going on with Team Raw. I mean, with Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler, with what they're dealing with Randy Rose and Dana Brooke and Lana, I don't think they're going to be able to coexist. I just don't see that. Meanwhile, you got Bianca Belair, Ruby Riott, and now Liv Morgan. You got the Riot Squad and Bianca Belair, so which they can definitely function. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see who on the are who the two others are going to be on there. But yeah, Chelsea Green now part of SmackDown. Yeah, so there's really nothing more for me to say. To me, the match was too short, so I'm not even gonna put a rating on it just because of that. So Dee Dee Woodson, it's yours.
Yeah, it was rather a short match. If I have to give it a rating, I'd probably give it 1.5 to 2. But yeah, definitely, definitely good to see Liv Morgan back in the ring again, and Tamina, because these are ladies that we don't get to see very often. But also, it's nice to see that they are finally bringing up some of the ones that they said they were going to bring up from NXT back when all this COVID stuff started. So they finally brought Chelsea up now, and now gave her first big break to get on this team. And hopefully, we'll see more of her down the road on SmackDown now that she's debuted over there. But as far as the SmackDown tag team, I have to agree with Wolf. I think they have the better chance of pulling this out on Survivor Series, because like we harsh so many times, the Raw team, they have a big issue that they cannot get back on the same page, and they are just constantly infighting with each other because of Lana being on the team. And now you have these you have all these people fighting each other. You've got the two blondes here of Rose and Brooks that are fighting also with Shayna and Nia, which I've also heard rumors that will hurt the Raw team also if it's true that Nia Jax hurt Mandy Rose and she may be out. So Florio may be looking for a new person to replace her if that one is true. So yeah, we'll just kind of have to see what happens with this, because the team looks like it's going to fall apart before they even get to Survivor Series. So as of right now, SmackDown, even though there's only 3 people announced, they are coming out to be the stronger team, because these 3 at least can coexist, where Raw don't seem to have that. So I'm not going to add too much more. It's yours, Fletch.
Whoa, my ears perked, and I hate to say this, but a smile came over my face. And the thing is, look, I would never, ever, ever wish any injury on any wrestler this close to Survivor Series, and especially Mandy Rose. No. But if she can't go for Survivor Series, that's a huge momentum boost for SmackDown. That's huge. Mandy being out is definitely, that's a big loss for Monday Night Raw if that is true. I haven't heard anything about Mandy being hurt or even being out of Survivor Series. So, Dee Dee, you just dropped a bomb on me. That was breaking news. That's why I would say that when you said that, I just immediately, even though I was on mute, I was like, whoa. So you just caught me off guard with that news. If it's true,
Exactly. It's true.
If it's true, oh my goodness, that's a game changer. And I know Florio will not be happy with that news at all.
Well, I can tell you where the injury happened. If you can remember back on the match, there was a a fall that she took where she looked like she hit her shoulder on the
On the apron,
yes.
on the ring apron. Yeah, and that's the hardest part of the ring, as they always say. So yeah,
Yeah.
um, if you have Monday Night Raw, folks, that happened this past week, review it, take a look at it.
Because she
Probably,
immediately grabbed that arm.
yeah. So I mean, that could have been just a regular, because there was talk about it. I think there was something mentioned about it. Like I said, it never really dawned on us until after the fact. But you just brought it up, and oh my goodness. Um, Hopefully it's not serious. Hopefully that's just a minor injury, and that it doesn't prevent her from Survivor Series. But if it does, Florio, your Raw team's in big trouble. But I'm gonna say, yeah, short match. I get it. I wonder what's the deal with Pierce and Chelsea Green, though. I mean, teacher's pet? Anyone? I mean, that's all. That's all I'm thinking in my mind. Is is she gonna try to butter up Adam Pierce here, get what she wants, get her way? Because first night in, and she almost was representing Team SmackDown at Survivor Series. I mean, how on earth do you even get that kind of push on the first night, y'all? But then again, I can't say that. I can't say that. Because if you remember, back on Monday Night Raw, years ago during the Women's Battle Royale, Gail Kim made her debut, and she ended up walking away with the women's title on her first night. So, let bygones be bygones. Let's see what happens in the future. But welcome.
Plus, you had Paige that did the same thing.
And Paige, first night on Monday Night Raw. And that was the night after WrestleMania that she did it. Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. I'm happy that Liv Morgan's in. That means Riot Squad is all together now. And with the EST and WWE with Bianca Belair, I'm liking my chances. If we get two more quality performers, two good, solid women on our squad, I really start to like my chances on the Women's Survivor Series match. My interest is starting to get there. When I saw Raw's squad, I was like, oh my god, that's scary. That looks bad. I don't know what's going to happen. But now, the infighting, and Mandy might be out, I'm really liking my chances now. Like, a couple of weeks ago, I was pretty low. Now it's starting to gain. My confidence, my belief that we could win this, is starting to rise. It's gaining momentum by the day. We need two more strong. If we get two more strong women on Team SmackDown, oh my god, we got this in the bag. Anthony Florio, it's yours.
And you can, and if SmackDown should win this match, MF, you better send Nia Jax a Christmas card or something, because Nia Jax is the one responsible for this. That's all there is to say on that. Nia Jax was the one responsible for Mandy's injury. Yeah, stop me if that sounds familiar. How many times has she done that over the years? Too many to count. But, it is what it is. And we still have a week or so before the event. I'm sending my prayers to Mandy Rose, and I'm praying that she'll be healed in time for Survivor Series, and we can have her on Team Raw to give us our a puncher's chance here. But all kidding aside here, kudos to Liv Morgan for scoring a big win to cash her ticket to Survivor Series. She has improved leaps and bounds here in 2020 and deserves the opportunity to showcase herself on pay-per-view. But I am going to have to go on a little bit of a small, microscopic little Jesse rant on this. Chelsea Green's debut and insertion in this match was quite the curiosity. What was the purpose of putting her in that spot after months of leaving her in limbo, only to have her barely involved in the match and definitely not in the finish? I'm sorry, MF. It was a total waste of a fresh new face and further evidence that Vince McMahon and his minions have no idea what to do with this talented Canadian beauty. A talented wrestler with character in spades. She should be a focal point of this division rather than the afterthought she was here tonight. Be better than that, WWE, or stop wondering why superstars fail to make the successful jump from NXT to the main roster. So, had to get that little thing off my chest here. Yes, MF, Chelsea Green, the hot mess, Laurel Van Ness, Impact Wrestling, former Knockouts champion in her own right. Absolutely. She was a part of that stable, that ladies stable, with Maria Kanellis, Allison Kay, Sienna, and Allie. I mean, well, Allie was the reluctant member, but Laurel, Sienna, and Maria, they were the bullies on the block in that Knockouts division a few years back. So, but anyways, little mini rant over here. Probably give this about 1.5, maybe 2 for the effort. So MF, if it's proven that Mandy can't go at Survivor Series and SmackDown wins, you owe a hell of a thank you to Nia Jax. That's all there is to say on that.
And it goes to prove what I said to you before, Florio.
She must
Nia
go.
Jax, she's a danger. I mean,
More trouble than she's worth. More trouble than she's worth. More trouble than she's worth. Far more.
Yeah, because we have seen far too many women get injured because of her aggressiveness, or
over aggressiveness.
Being over aggressive. I mean, Mandy Rose. I mean, you can add to it. You've seen Kairi Sane. Hell,
keep going.
You can also remember from I think it was 2-3 years ago where she broke the nose of Becky Lynch.
Keep going. Keep going.
I mean, I could go on and on.
You could go on forever, baby.
I wish I could, but I'm not going to. So, WWE, I'm just going to send this message to you right now. You need to straighten things out with Nia Jax, and you need to have her at least calm down with what she's doing here, because if she continues like this, more and more women are going to get hurt. Plain and simple. So that's just something I need to get off my chest, because this is really going on for far too long.
Agreed.
No doubts.
No doubts. Main event time, guys, on SmackDown Live, as it was Drew McIntyre going one-on-one with Jey Uso, and when it was all said and done, it was Drew McIntyre knocking off Jey Uso at a total time of 12 minutes and 27 seconds. Michael Bullock, you lead off on the main event of the evening. Drew McIntyre wins in 12:27.
Yeah, I'm going to give this about maybe 3.25 stars, maybe 3.5. Although I'm leaning more towards 3.25. This was a good match here to close the show. I mean, with Drew McIntyre going over here and basically continuing a stare down with the Tribal Chief, it continues to show why I think Drew's winning that title on Monday night, and why it's going to set up for Drew against the Tribal Chief Roman Reigns at Survivor Series. So there's really nothing more for me to say on it. Dee Woodson, it is yours.
What was your rating?
3.25. I said it.
Okay. I didn't hear you. That's why I was asking. Yeah, I'll go with about 3 stars on the match. It was a good ending for this show. Definitely newsworthy, with the fact that now there is a very real threat that Drew will be the one that will be walking away possible with the title on Monday and facing Roman Reigns. He definitely put his cards out there and showed Roman that he's not going to back down. He's not scared, and showed him that the Irishman is here to stay. And this, and he's taking names, and he's just going down the list of taking care of people. So, yeah, I mean, this was definitely a good fight. Jay looked like he's a little nervous when he first came out, but the match was good. It was a good way to end the show. So, I don't have anything else to add. So it's yours, Fletch.
Solid main event, no doubt about it. I'll give this about three and a quarter. Maybe an argument for 3.5, but 3.25 definitely solid. And yeah, big win for Drew McIntyre, getting some momentum going into the Survivor Series, going into the big match on Monday, and then that could propel him to Survivor Series and a date with Roman Reigns and the Tribal Chief. So great show, great main event. Well done, Anthony. It's yours.
Second best fight of the night here, no doubt about it. 3.25 to 3.5 stars. What happens when someone strays from orders and goes into business for themselves? This happens. Drew McIntyre overcame Jey Uso to pick up the win, almost certainly guaranteeing an unpleasant week for Uso as he continues to serve the Tribal Chief. The post-match exchange between Roman Reigns and Drew McIntyre was great. And the Universal Champion continues to be the best thing about WWE television right now. Arrogant, confident, imposing, and intimidating. He is the epitome of a great heel, and the character around whom Friday Night Smackdown should absolutely revolve now and well into the future. That's all I can say on that. So even if you lose Seth for a little bit, you're more than fine in that. You're gonna be more than fine. So that's all I can say on that. So 3.25 to 3.5 stars. And let me just say it like this, folks. The writing's on the wall. I mean, if 72 hours from now, when we do Ridiculously Raw, when we reconvene for Ridiculously Raw, I'll be shocked if I'm not saying winner and new WWE champion Drew McIntyre. Because the way they're setting this up, I mean, if they were going to have Orton against Roman, wouldn't they have Randy Orton show up? They didn't. Drew did. It's foreshadowing. And we've seen this three times in over the last few years. 3 notable times we've seen this. 2017, Jinder Mahal was supposed to face Brock Lesnar. That didn't happen. They gave the title to AJ. And look what happened. AJ Styles and Brock Lesnar tore the house down in Houston. Natalya was supposed to face Alexa Bliss in the women's match in that same year, 2017. Go home show. She loses the SmackDown women's title to Charlotte Flair. And we got Charlotte Flair and Alexa, and they had a hell of a match on that show. And then most recently, 2 years ago, as a matter of fact, 2 years ago today, November 13th, 2018, in St. Louis, AJ Styles, we were on pace to have AJ Styles, Brock Lesnar 2 at the 2018 Survivor Series. That didn't happen. They put the WWE Championship on Daniel Bryan, the new Daniel Bryan, and look what happened. They tore the house down at the Staples Center in LA. So, you see where I'm going with this. Come Monday night, Drew McIntyre is going to regain the WWE Championship. Orton's going to be a transitional champion after 3 weeks. And it's going to set up Drew McIntyre and Roman Reigns at the Survivor Series in a match that, if it should happen, keyword if it should happen, MF, this, I believe in my heart of hearts, that match will be far better than that disappointing match we had at WrestleMania 35. So, nothing more to say. 3.25, 3.5, second best fight of the night. Let's put our final stamp on this thing.
We'll lead it off with Dee Woodson. Dee, it's all yours, my love.
Yeah, I could probably give this maybe 6.5 stars, maybe teetering towards 7. It was very newsworthy. Yes, we had a lot of cutouts. We had a lot of, not the best things in the world happening, but we did have a lot of news coming out of this show. And of course, SmackDown is notorious for storyline building, and they did. They built some storylines up and even ended finally the one that everybody was getting sick and tired of because it had gone on for so freaking long, so many months. So yeah, very good show for it being the week before the go home show. So we'll see what happens on the two go home shows next week and see what we come up with when we get ready for the final card of Survivor Series. So nothing else I have. I will see you all Monday. Good night.
Good night, Dee Dee. And I totally agree with her. 6 to 6.5 wasn't the perfect show. It was strong. It was good, but it could have been a lot better. The Intercontinental title fight was horrible. The Otis versus Dolph Ziggler was a yawner. You can say that yes, the women's Survivor match was a little bit of a downer, but Drew McIntyre showing up on from Monday Night Raw to SmackDown Live was a huge thing. And then with the main event, that was fine. We had a great match with Seth Rollins and Rey Mysterio that literally ended the feud. That was the one thing that we all wanted, and we got it. Big payoff at the end on that one. And yes, a lot of storyline progression. Chelsea Green makes her debut on SmackDown Live. Yes, I get it. Not the perfect debut, but let's see. Let's hold off before we start throwing the tomatoes at WWE for what are they doing with Chelsea Green. Hold on, boys. Hold on, folks. Put down the tiki torches and the pitchforks. We don't need it yet. Hold on. Give it a chance. Maybe this was a one-off. Maybe there might be something more down the line because of the way that she was with Adam Pearce. Maybe it might be a Pearce Green partnership. You don't know. Let's see how that plays out. At the end of the day, this was a very good and solid Monday night, a very good and solid show that was compatible with Monday Night Raw. I don't think either one was better this week. I think this was kind of a wash. You can say maybe SmackDown because they had better storylines, better stuff, or better build towards Survivor Series. Maybe you can give that. But with Drew McIntyre showing up, it beats two purposes. One, it gets us to talk about Monday night. It's all about Orton versus McIntyre. That match now becomes more pivotal than ever before. When McIntyre's appearance on SmackDown tonight, it really emphasizes the meaning of the match between Orton and McIntyre on Monday, but it also could be foreshadowing for Survivor Series. There's no doubt about it. Everybody's probably thinking, oh, great, now McIntyre's going to win the title and he's going to fight Roman. Not necessarily true. Remember, there's a Money in the Bank out there. There could be an overbooked finish with the fact that it could be Bray Wyatt could get involved. Miz could get involved to try to cash in the Money in the Bank and steal the whole thing on us. So there's a number of factors how this could play out. Let's hold and wait. But like we said, McIntyre is now definitely odds-on favorite to win on Monday night. We'll see if it actually does prevail. Anthony Florio, your final thoughts.
God forbid if come Monday night Miz walks out of that thing, that's a cakewalk, MF. You got a cakewalk. The tribal chief will send them back to MTV for crying out loud.
Yes.
They'll send them back to the real world.
Yes.
If they want to bring it back. So, I mean, as long as it's not the Miz, we'll be fine. I mean, me personally, I want McIntyre. That's who I want. But then again, I wouldn't mind the Fiend. Heck, I wouldn't even mind Randy Orton, because Orton and Roman, the one other match that we remember them having, SummerSlam 2014 was actually a solid match. So, but if you want the best possible match, you got to make it Drew and Roman. I mean, it's got to be. I mean, especially after what we saw tonight. I mean, if they don't put the title on Drew, I mean, everything that happened tonight would not make sense. So, but, you know, it is what it is. But anybody but The Miz. That's all I'm saying. Anybody but Miz. That's all I'm saying. That's all I can say. But anyways, I'm going to give it a solid 6 out of 10. I mean, mainly because of the cutouts and whatnot. We had 2 dud matches on this show. You can make an argument there was a third, but that women's match was, you know, not that bad. But that was about 1.5 to 2. But Seth Rollins, Rey Mysterio, they tore the house down. They stole the damn show here tonight. That saved the show. You take that match, we're talking a lot lower. That match saved the show. And event with McIntyre and Jey Uso. That was, I mean, those 2 matches, go out of your way to see those 2 matches. They were great. The opening segment, that was well done. And that's really all there is to say on this. So it's a solid 6 from me. I think that's the correct rating for this show here tonight. So upward and onwards towards Monday night, and hopefully Drew gets the belt back, and then we can get Drew and Roman at Survivor Series. They'll tear the damn house down. It'll be far better than that WrestleMania match. So really nothing more to say. Michael Bullock, put a bow on it.
Yeah, I agree. This is a 6 out of 10 for me as well. I mean, yeah, with everything that we saw tonight, I mean, it was a good show, and I agree. I mean, you know, Drew's got to win that belt. I mean, him invading. I mean, if they have Randy Orton retaining the title or the Miz cashing in, then what was the point of this whole thing anyway? So, yeah, I mean, so there's really nothing more to say on it. You guys pretty much touched on everything. So, that being said, Fletch, if we don't have anything more to talk about, let's wrap it up.
We will indeed wrap it up. We do have nothing else. Oh, actually, no, we do have something quick. New Japan Pro Wrestling, Wrestle Kingdom coming up. We just found out a blockbuster announcement. All right, so as many of you know, Wrestle Kingdom once again will be held at the Tokyo Dome in Tokyo, Japan on January 4, 2021 and January 5, 2021, and they just announced the main event of that event. Okay, so as many of you guys know, during the G1 Climax tournament, Kota Ibushi won the tournament, which made him the #1 contender for the IWGP Heavyweight title. But then, just recently, Jay White of the Bullet Club, one of the biggest villains in New Japan, took the briefcase off Kota Ibushi and won it for himself. The IWGP management has made the following announcement. On January 4, it will be Tetsuya Naito, who is the reigning and defending IWGP Heavyweight and IWGP Intercontinental Champion. He will put both belts on the line against Kota Ibushi. The winner of that match on January 4 will fight Jay White the next night for both belts. That's right. For the first time ever in the history of New Japan Pro, for this event, both IWGP Intercontinental and IWGP Heavyweight titles will both be on the line defended. Remember, 1 year ago at Wrestle Kingdom, basically it was a match that had literally title for title, winner take all. Naito won the belts. He took it off Okada and became the undisputed champion. He lost those belts during the summer against Evil, formerly of Los Ignobles de Japón, but now is Bullet Club. But then in the big event at the baseball stadium in Nagano, Naito won the belts back and got both the titles back in his possession. Now, in the biggest Wrestle Kingdom ever, at the Tokyo Dome on January 4, he will have to defend both belts against Bushi. Now, many people thought a year ago that Kota Ibushi should have been IWGP Heavyweight Champion, that he should have been the one to unseat Naito. Well, is this gonna be the year? Will 2021 be the moment, finally, for the Golden Star to become golden in New Japan? We will all find out. And yes, my friends, myself and Derek Ferrero will definitely be burning the midnight oil. Probably staying our asses up at 3 a.m. to watch this event. This is the WrestleMania of New Japan Pro Wrestling, and this is the most meaningful and biggest wrestling show of the year. To be honest, it's bigger than WrestleMania. Bigger than any event in the calendar for professional wrestling. It has become a global phenomenon. It's getting bigger by the year. They push the limits every year, and year after year it gets better and better and better. We've had Fights of the Year come out of Wrestle Kingdom. Superstars of the Year has come from Wrestle Kingdom. Men who's become relative unknowns becomes global stars in that one event. Kota Ibushi went from being relative unknown to superstar because of his incredible performance at the Cruiserweight Classic, to becoming one of the top stars in New Japan, to now possibly becoming the man of New Japan, the face of New Japan, if he some way, somehow takes down the leader of LIJ. We'll see. That's it, guys. We're done for tonight. Tomorrow night is NFL Saturday, hosted by Anthony Floyo, as always, at 10:30 Eastern, as we'll go down through all the coverage of this upcoming week, including a big win for the Indianapolis Colts, as they came back on Tennessee and basically whipped their rear ends. It was a massacre in Tallahassee, or I should say in Nashville, last night. But we'll get into that, and we'll get into all the other games, as always. And yeah, so we got nothing more to say. For Anthony Floyo, for Michael Bullock, I'm Michael Fletcher and Dee Dee Woodson. So long, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow.